Few bands in rock history embody the spirit of musical fusion and experimentation like Led Zeppelin. From their earliest recordings to their later stadium-filling anthems, the band's sound was never confined to a single genre. Instead, Led Zeppelin drew inspiration from an astonishing range of influences: blues, folk, psychedelia, Eastern music, hard rock, and even classical traditions, blending them into a body of work that remains unparalleled. Their eclectic influences not only defined their unique sound, but also reshaped the entire landscape of rock music, pushing boundaries and inspiring generations of musicians. When Led Zeppelin formed in 1968, their foundation was built on the blues. Jimmy Page, Robert Plant, John Paul Jones, and John Bonham all shared a deep admiration for American blues legends such as Muddy Waters, Robert Johnson, Willie Dixon, and Howlin' Wolf. This influence was evident from the start with tracks like You Shook Me and I Can't Quit You Baby, which reimagined traditional blues with amplified power and emotional intensity. Page's masterful guitar riffs and Plant's soulful wails gave new life to the blues, while Bonham's thunderous drumming and Jones's bass lines turned it into something explosive and larger than life. Yet, rather than simply imitating the blues, Led Zeppelin transformed it, injecting their own creativity and energy into a genre that had already laid the groundwork for rock and roll. But blues was only the beginning. One of Led Zeppelin's defining qualities was their embrace of folk traditions, particularly from the British Isles. Songs like Black Mountain Side, Gallows Pole, and Brawny R Stomp revealed Page's fascination with acoustic arrangements and open tunings, while Plant's lyrics often drew from folklore and mythology. These elements added a pastoral, almost mystical quality to their music, balancing the heaviness of their electric riffs with moments of quiet beauty. The folk influence not only diversified their sound, but also highlighted their versatility, showing that Zeppelin could move seamlessly between delicate acoustic textures and bombastic rock anthems. Eastern and world music also played a critical role in shaping the band's identity. Kashmir, perhaps their most epic track, fused rock with Middle Eastern scales and orchestral arrangements, creating a hypnotic and transcendent atmosphere. Similarly, Friends and In the Light showcased Jones's use of exotic instruments and Page's interest in modal experimentation. These global influences gave Led Zeppelin's music a sense of grandeur and universality, appealing to audiences far beyond traditional rock fans. Another major influence came from psychedelia, particularly in their early years. Songs like Dazed and Confused and Whole Lotta Love featured extended improvisations, experimental production techniques, and surreal lyrical imagery. Page's use of effects, bowing his guitar, and layering sounds in the studio echoed the psychedelic ethos of expanding consciousness through music. This experimental spirit helped Zeppelin craft songs that weren't just tracks, but experiences, transporting listeners into immersive sonic landscapes. Of course, Led Zeppelin also helped invent hard rock and heavy metal, but even here, their influences were multifaceted. While songs like Communication Breakdown and Immigrant Song established the template for heavy riff-driven rock, they also incorporated elements of classical structure and dynamics. Page, who had a background as a session musician, brought a meticulous approach to composition and production, while Jones's classical training added depth to the band's arrangements. This combination of raw power and refined musicianship made Zeppelin's music both visceral and sophisticated, appealing to casual fans and serious musicians alike. Lyrically, Robert Plant drew inspiration from literature, mythology, and personal experiences. Norse sagas, Tolkien's Middle-earth, and themes of mysticism often appeared in songs like Ramble On and The Battle of Evermore. These references elevated Zeppelin's lyrics beyond traditional rock cliches, aligning the band with the counterculture's fascination with fantasy, spirituality, and exploration of the unknown. Combined with their musical diversity, these themes gave Zeppelin a mythic aura that has endured for decades. Live, Led Zeppelin transformed their eclectic influences into legendary performances. Their concerts often stretched songs into epic jams, weaving blues improvisations with folk interludes, psychedelic explorations, and hard rock intensity. Each show was a journey through the band's wide-ranging inspirations, proving that they were not only studio innovators, but also masters of live expression. What makes Led Zeppelin's eclectic influences so remarkable is not just the variety, but the way they blended these styles seamlessly. They didn't compartmentalize blues, folk, rock, or world music. They integrated them into a cohesive sound that was uniquely their own. This ability to transcend genre boundaries is why their music continues to resonate. From the raw emotion of Since I've Been Loving You to the cosmic majesty of Kashmir, Led Zeppelin captured the full spectrum of human experience through sound. In the end, Led Zeppelin's journey from blues to bombast reflects the evolution of rock itself. They absorbed everything around them, old traditions, new experiments, global sounds, and turned it into something that felt timeless. By breaking the mold of what a rock band could be, they didn't just influence a genre, they created an entirely new musical language. Today, their songs still stand as monuments to the power of eclecticism, reminding us that the best music often comes not from one influence, but from many woven together into something greater than the sum of its parts.